What? This room's in the wrong place. What's it? What? What are you doing, door? What are you doing? Open! Teddy the manual, open! What? Open! It's very strange. 27,305 minions on the floor. 27,305 minions. Kill one more and leave them on the floor. 27,306 minions on the floor. 27,306 minions on the floor. 27,306.
Hello, everyone! Oh, this room's in a totally different place than before. This is amazing.
Don't close the door.
Close the door? Well, I don't usually do that.
98,755 minions on the floor. 98,755. Take one down and kill him on the floor. 98,756 minions. 56.
I lost count.
Well, it's 98,756 minions.
No, I think there were none. Let's start again.
Oh.
Mistress, it's your 10-year anniversary. It's time to review. She's not here either. Where is she? I've checked all her favorite places. The office, the Tiger Moon, the Jeffrey Combs Clone Zoo, even the Pit of Despair. She's not marathoning Doctor Who. I don't know where she is. You. Ugh. Okay. Shouldn't have looked directly at you. You are very ugly. You didn't happen to see where she went, did you? That way? Why didn't the mistress install speakers on this thing? I know. Teddy will probably know. He always seems to know those things. He knows an idiot. Let's find him. Oh, there you idiots are. Have you seen the
Don't
mistress?
let the door! Close.
Oh. What? What's wrong?
Teddy has been here a very long time.
And more importantly, me too!
You haven't been here as long as I have.
More important though.
I saw you this morning.
That was 3 months ago. Might be a side effect of that time warp the mistress had installed, you know, in case those blighters come back from the future and start bothering us again.
Hey, Teddy was one of those blighters.
Well, glad you could finally accept that.
Is anyone else here?
No, just us.
Oh.
And we won't be partaking in any hijinks. Hit me. Ow!
Wrong game.
Stop that.
Don't stop that. Keep doing it.
We could take part in what's going on, but I'd rather eat my own brain, so...
So why don't you try to... escape?
Oh, impossible, I'm afraid. Until you watch a movie for the 10th anniversary.
So... we have to do a review?
This is a recording. Stop babbling and fucking listen. And yes, Patreon minion, I know the 10th anniversary is coming up. That's why I decided to run off and hang out with Kat here, because she is lots of fun.
Oh yeah, tons of fun.
Would she lie?
Cat is fun.
Move! Meh. Meh. Shoot.
So I set up that room to trap all the recurring characters, but a time warp in it, so it'd only be a few hours in the outside world, but a long time on the inside, and then waited for you to activate this video. Diabolical! Yes, it is. And the door will only open if some of you, or all of you, watch the movie for me.
Whoa, not it.
No fucking way. Uno.
Fuck that. I'm never watching a movie with her again.
I guess that leaves Alistair, the Patreon minion, and Teddy. Oh, Mr. Miserinus, how do you know what we're saying? It's because you're predictable. Actually, no, that's unfair. It's because of the reason. Oh, my lord, she is good.
Where she is God.
good with one less arrow.
Shut it! I want you all to enjoy Star Paws.
Oh, I heard that was amazing. Terrible.
Shall we go water skiing?
Sure.
On the corpses of our enemies?
I'd rather not have anything to do with corpses, the whole journey.
What?
Well, fuck.
Indeed.
But Daddy doesn't know how to.
I'm gonna run, run, run till I find you, till I find you.
Oh my lord, this is the most whimsical crossover of the season!
Greetings, gentle people who watch this shit.
I think they're called watchers.
Whatever. If you watch the intro, you know exactly what's going on here.
Well, I certainly didn't watch the intro. I was far too busy thinking about Titus Androgynous. Shakespeare was very ahead of his time writing someone genderqueer like that.
Oh, shut up. This is something called Star Paws. Hey, studio. Next time try involving Ruth. It might work better. It's a cold opening, as cold as the depths of space.
Space is presently on fire! Inside the spaceship there's a whole lot of minion cats, all standing attention to this slightly bigger minion cat.
Captain Adventure Cat, we have finished mining all of planet Verbalius looking for the bone. We found nothing.
Probably because nothing is even cheaper to animate than this. All the rest of the cats in the crew are clones of this Adventure Cat.
Drat, my trusty Adventure Cat clone number 9. Another planet and still no bone.
Teddy thinks Adventure Cat is in charge.
Well, with a voice that heavenly, how could he not be?
You might think it was clever of them to have 90% of their lines to explain either who a character is or who they're talking to, seeing as all of these fucking things look and sound identical. And yeah, it might be, but I'm still counting the minutes until Adventure Cat gets shot with an arrow by one of his underlings, and then has to change his name to Skyrim NPC Cat. Anyway, they're searching the stars for, and stay with me on this one, a bone.
We must find that bone at once. What's so special about a bone anyway, Captain Adventure Cat?
It'll allow our mouths to move at the same time as our voices.
It's attached to Captain Kirk's groin.
We're talking about the bone. A bone of legend.
I told you. It was Captain Kirk's.
A bone of an ancient and rare dinosaur.
But how would a dinosaur get into space? A flying dinosaur, sir?
A bone so incredible it can bestow upon those who obtain it the ability to rule the entire universe.
Well, that didn't do the dinosaur it came from any good, did it?
Yeah, wouldn't all of its bones be magical?
Maybe it ruled the multiverse!
Besides, this bone contains an amazing property that regenerates more bone as you chew on it.
Well, whatever happened to that dinosaur, at least we know it didn't eat itself to death.
Are we absolutely sure it's not one of Joseph Merrick's bones? And surely any cat that tried to get the bone's power would be ostracized from cat society for chewing on a bone like a golly dog.
I think that's just called a dog.
I was imagining a black dog and shocked myself with racism.
This bone is totally delicious, crunchy, flavorful, and succulent.
It might be made of treats.
I want a treat.
You can have 1 billion if you watch the movie instead of me.
Rather go without, sorry.
Fucking pussy.
The movie is very, very clever because the cat cloned himself so they all look like him.
Unfortunately, they all sound like him too.
But the film itself cloned all the shots of the clones, therefore saving costs cubed. Blah, 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 blah. Why are all the frightening, raspy voice things still talking? We have more than enough of that in real life.
Besides, that bone can make me
into a real cat instead of an abomination!
Wait, that's supposed to be a cat?
Well, it's called Adventure Cat.
I thought they were just trying to be ironic because that is anything but a cat. It looks more like the devil from Spawn, and it sounds like weapons tests gone awry.
They've perfected a bloody sound weapon.
Besides, that bone can make me that most powerful kitty in the universe. That bone can turn us into the most powerful kitties in all the multiverse.
I knew there was a multiverse!
How far into this are we?
2 minutes and 23 seconds.
What if we take into account the time warp?
2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Are we watching the evolution of hype in real time?
Yes, Captain Adventure Cat. We will ride from universe to universe, galaxy to galaxy, dimension to dimension.
Desperately seeking something, anything, a fraction as horrifying as we are.
Completely unstoppable.
Not unstoppable.
Completely unstoppable. Wreaking kitty havoc everywhere we go.
We will stand in all manner of tall things and knock over ever more expensive items to their doom.
We will stand for days at a time in front of open doors.
Oh, we'll rob a bank and we'll play music really loudly.
We will plunder every planet and take all their treats. Sardines, kibble, tuna.
And most importantly, dweebies. They are so tasty.
No one will stop us.
Oh, has he finally finished talking? I'm so happy. What comes next can't possibly sound any worse.
Gonna run, run, run till I found you. Till I found you.
Nope, not doing this. Nope, not doing this.
Evan, darling, sit in the corner of a room and think about what you fucking did!
This guy made 3 other films in the same year as this. Because his name's not Takashi Miike, I'm going to take that as a bad sign. Looking at the names of the executive producers, I wonder if they've already been punished enough. And no, they have not.
A long time ago, in a land far away.
Not that far, surely. It's still Earth.
Well, in its defense, the camera had to warp in from Vulcan for that shot.
Okay, Teddy has worked it out. Maybe the spaceship is closer to the Earth than we are to another part of Earth.
How in the fuckery did that thing zoom into fucking Greenland on a modern map of the globe and end up in the past with fucking dinosaurs?
In continental drift?
Oh no, we're in Land Before Time 8. I still have scars from the last time.
She gave you a new body since you reviewed the Big Freeze.
And she put the scars back.
This is the Jurassic period, when creatures of tremendous size ruled the Earth. These creatures were known as the mighty dinosaurs.
Richard Owen was known to be hyperbolic.
The mighty dinosaurs were direct ancestors of the mighty ducks. It looks like these shots were taken before the dinosaurs evolved the ability to close their fucking mouths.
So tall, their heads touched the clouds. So ferocious, they gobbled up anything in their path.
Well, in his case, assuming that path went through a forest.
I am learning so very, very much. I didn't realize that dinosaurs invented going on a cruise and dying alone exploring the Arctic.
These dinosaurs were the keepers of an incredible legend. The legend of the bone.
Well, that's just terribly clever. Assume the audience turned off the TV when the cat was on screen, and then restate the plot just as they checked to see if the film's still going. I believe Julie Taymor used that approach when she directed The Lion King on stage.
A bone so delicious and succulent, all dogs in the future would salivate at the very thought of it.
Well, I'm not sure about the dog, but that rocket looks terribly excited.
1, that's not a bone. 2, that's still not a bone.
3, that's the most useful rocket design ever. Both the bottom and the top are the same shape. So if you put it in the wrong way round, it'll still work.
I haven't finished. 3, that's not and never shall be a fucking bone.
I think that's the rocket they used to put Laika into space. Shaping it like that was the only way she'd get into the bloody thing.
Did she have fun in space?
Well, yes, a lot of fun until she melted.
What? Oh.
Look what you did!
Oh my
All froze!
God! Oh no!
All right over there!
Stop! It's okay. They sent up some other dogs to be friends. Having finished explaining the basic plot, there's a magic bone, and both the dogs and the cats want it. The movie's now taken the dramatic step of explaining what's going to happen later on.
It's now up to an intrepid team of space canines to embark on a mission to travel back to the Jurassic and fetch the bone.
It's also spoiling itself by pretending there's going to be exciting shit like space battles, if you can really even spoil something this shit to begin with. Now, there will be a space battle, but it'll be anything but exciting.
Anything? Will it be another Teddy?
It was a figure of speech!
Well, I think it's brilliant. It's taking the black box theatre style with minimal sets that merely evoke locations, allowing the audience to see through them, and transposing it to time instead, giving us a non-Euclidean, fourth-dimensional view of the story.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just reading this new pamphlet. Emergency! What to do if Owen Citizen comes by? It's all sorts of topics to discuss and everything. Was it appropriate?
I miss brows held high guy. His brows were so good and so high.
They will set out on a journey beset with perils. Ravenous Spinosaurus.
Who's sitting politely somewhere far behind that scene-stealing sauropod with the mohawk.
To bring back the legendary bone.
The dogs are in an organisation called the BIA. I assume it stands for Bitches in Action, and it was originally a dog breeding club. Their mission, should they choose to accept it, defend the known universe from peril, in the shape of horrific CGI cat things.
And to find the most delicious dog treats in the universe.
Well, that's clearly a very important part of any organisation.
The mistress's dog treat shock.
That's Hershey's chocolate.
Yeah, that's terrible. Disgusting. Well, this looks like the right place to find some good dog tweets. And if they can't find any, they could just invent some.
Our adventure starts here, inside the BIA's hovering space pod.
Deep inside? Outside is literally inches away. That's about as deep as arsenic and old lace. Wait, what's wrong with my eyes? Everything looks weird. All solid.
They finally filmed something real.
Oh, real must be expensive if they have so little of it.
Okay, so these dogs, Dr. Bone and his assistant Shortstack, are working on a time machine so they can go back in time to the dinosaurs and find the bone.
Teddy isn't following. They need to find the bone. Why doesn't Dr. Bone just make it easy on everyone and give himself up?
Because two things with the same name aren't always the same thing. For example, are you a teddy bear?
Teddy is fuzzy and goes wah. So yes.
Fair point. Movie, the nominal man asked you a question. Why are you ignoring him?
Probably because the movie's so high it forgot it was explaining the plot again.
It is up to BIA agents to make it back to the Jurassic period before Adventure Cat does. Get the bone and assure the galaxy.
Inside, science itself and powered by all the might of raw tinfoil, the plot is in serious danger of actually starting when...
The emergency signal! Quick to the mission control room! It's been a while, General Ruff. I must say, you look tired.
That's not tired. That's really, really sad to be involved.
Teddy doesn't understand.
Nor me.
Here, look in a mirror.
Teddy understands and he's sad.
I am gorgeous!
This dinosaur bone fragment was found in the dusty basement of a museum. It's believed to date back to the Jurassic era.
Again! Stop telling us the plot, please! It's not even a dinosaur bone. That's the exact same not a dinosaur bone as before. And if you find it in a museum, why do you need to go back in time just to find it in the Jurassic era? Fuck! I almost feel sorry for the mistress putting up with this shit, but then I remember she's the one who put us here in the first place.
Ha ha!
Ah! I thought she was water skiing!
She is! The water is our terror!
As you can see, it's not in very good shape. So instead of placing it on public view as part of the dinosaur exhibit, the museum staff tossed it on a shelf.
A very dusty shelf.
That skull and crossbones raises so many questions about the place of humans in this world. Of course, the answer is obvious. All the dogs are just very extreme furries.
First, we must remove a slice of bone. Clean it, crush it, dissolve the mineral content in acid.
Well, it finally happened. Spinner became one with his dog and created Dr. Dogsino.
Dr. Bones, is this supposed to create so many bubbles?
I've had a look at your lab, second small white dog that's incapable of acting, and the bubbles are a great improvement.
To analyze these fragments quickly, I have prepared dozens of different solutions.
Why is this Breaking Bad?
I'm surprised you'd make that reference, Teddy.
Why? It's bad and it's breaking my mind. What? Is there another Breaking Bad?
I will mix the green with the red, red with blue, blue with green, and so on.
That dog is about to invent a rainbow! Or Skittles. Skittles be better.
And by doing so, I will learn everything I need to know about the chemical composition of this bone.
Oh, maybe it's made of Skittles. That'd be an amazing discovery.
Nothing is made from fucking Skittles!
Skittles are?
Shut up! Dr. Bone, maybe you should be doing this test on the bone you were told to test about a minute ago, because that's not fucking it. I'm sure you remember The Bone. The movie won't shut up about it. Oh look! Now he's having a press conference!
Dr. Bones, what have you found? Tell us about the amazing discovery. Is it true? What have you found?
Dr. Bone! Dr. Bone! Why are there only two voices?
Why are you racist, Alistair? Not all dogs sound the same.
I can't be racist. All the dogs are white.
This is just making me more confused. Why is there a minion hand there? Are minions real too now?
Oh look! You can see them realise their fuck up and yell at him to lower his hand in real time. And why did only one of these journalists with the same voices bring a mic?
Why is part of a super secret organization having a press conference but is super secret work? Doesn't that kind of faux pas usually get followed up by disappearance and a body being found in a ditch? At least that's been other people's experience.
This bone fragment, as my colleague so aptly describes, tastes scrumptious.
Dr. Bones, did you eat the bone?
Well, I certainly would.
So would Teddy.
Yeah, I would too.
Captain Adventure Cat, one question, sir. Aren't you forgetting about Dr. Bones? Your formidable arch-nemesis? What did you say?
I think he wondered when Adventure Cat clones 1 to 8 will get a line.
He also wants to know how to talk without pulling his mouth inside out.
I am the boss around here, and what I say goes. Understood, Adventure Cat clone number 9?
These cats are terrifying. It's like walking into the hall of hell, populated by the damned, there to drag you to their singing flames. If the devil was Madame Tussauds, and all the wax melted in very unattractive ways.
You are my exact clones. My exact replicas in every way. Well then, if I'm exactly like you, and if you are the boss, doesn't it mean I'm also the boss?
Every time we cut back to these soldiers, they always look more confused and embarrassed, but it's somehow always the same shot.
I should be the boss. No, I'm the boss. Then I'm the boss too. No, Adventure Cat clone number 9. You're absolutely not the boss.
Fuck is going on?
Then who's the boss? I am the boss. Wait, I thought Tony Danza was the boss.
There's been a coup against Adventure Cat?
What the heck is a danza?
Can we move on to universal domination and fishy kibble plundering, or do we still have more questions?
Yes, move on.
Am I the only one who's seeing certain parallels between our lives and the movie?
No.
What do you mean?
Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? You've got an evil overlord with a ridiculous screechy voice, and you've got a bunch of underlings, minions if you will, who are all in various kinds of dark colours, and they're all doing plots.
Go on.
Well, all the underlings, the minions if you will, are bad CGI. It's just like us.
But I'm not bad CGI.
You mean you're meant to look like that?
None of us are CGI.
Oh. Well, that's disturbing.
Adventure Cat, our arch enemy. He always seems to show up just when
the movie's in danger of actually starting.
Indeed! Just like that time you were on that bacon meteor mission.
Pigs in space!
Well, hopefully we can now declare the net's obsession with bacon over. It's officially embarrassing. The past has begun to intrude into the film like flashbacks when I'm told the 60s were like. But all I remember is soft focus and red carpet, so I'm doubtful. Dr. Bone's doctorate was seemingly in dogfighting. I have some experience with this, as one of my first jobs in film was as a World War I flying ace.
Eventually they informed me that a large spaniel head was unnecessary. I resigned immediately.
You thought you could get away with the delicious bacon-flavored meteor all for yourself?
Adventure Cat! I should have known you'd show up.
Going cruising in a spaceship, we're so good at being bad. We'll destroy your little planet if you ever get us mad.
Right now, I feel I could take on the entire Kilrathi Empire myself.
I know what you mean.
Those two are so good at flying. Look at all those buttons behind them that they don't even need to use.
No, Teddy, they're sitting the wrong way round in the cockpit.
Those two are so good at flying. They're both facing the wrong way, but not crashing into anything.
They also apparently took turns using the same ship, an unusual approach to dogfighting. Adventure Cat, being a roughly cat-shaped thing, has a slight disadvantage in dogfighting, so eventually loses.
Those two had a rivalry unlike any other.
But they're both alive and they're still rivals. How can they have had a rivalry unlike any other?
Could they be zombies?
That'd explain the dead eyes, the bad dubbing less so. Hey, how'd they get that footage of the fight?
Don't ask me, I'm still a bit spotty about how the movie is appearing.
Every time we cut away from us sitting on the sofa.
Why do I sound different when I'm talking over the movie? And wasn't there time travel involved in this? I thought there was time travel.
Oh, there is. The past rudely interrupted the present after the present defenestrated the future. Oh, you mean actual time travel, not flashbacks constructed like Euclid having a fever dream. No, not yet. Ma! BIA! Bolted Ash and Astro!
The movie's finally remembered the plot! Again! Go back and find the bone, even though the bone isn't a bone and it exists in the present.
Everybody got that?
We must travel back in time to the Jurassic era.
Dr. Bones, is it possible to travel hundreds of millions of years back in time to the age of dinosaurs? Don't you need a time machine?
One? Yes! They'll need a fucking machine! That's why they're building one!
But if the film goes on long enough, the Jurassic era is sure to attack at some point, so it might not be necessary.
And two, they're not going back hundreds of millions of years, they're going back between 190 and 65 million years. Now I realise that the Jurassic era was hundreds of millions of years ago, but most of the fucking film doesn't know that. And three, why do you sound like his assistant?
She knows a lot about dinosaurs.
I suspect she once watched Jurassic World.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry.
Don't do that.
Has ever a dog traveled back in time?
No, because if they had, the first thing they'd do is stop this from being made.
This is very educational. I'm learning so much. Like right now, I've learned that dogs and reporters don't need air to breathe because this press conference is happening outside a spaceship.
That's all the questions for today. I must get back to work.
Dr. Bones, one more question. Why do you hold all your press conferences in space? Is it because you're fucking high?
Well, to me, he looks like one of Michael Alig's friends. Wonderful chaps. They like to dress up like dogs too.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, a book. Yeah, I read one of those before. It's crazy what you learn. Like, did you know there are these things called letters? And they live inside books, and they have adventures all the time.
I believe that's called a plot, Teddy. Alas, that book has about as much as the rest of this film. Mesosaurus. I had some of that in Nippon. Excellent in soup.
Spinosaurus! Says its skull measures an incredible 6 feet in length.
Oh, now the movie finds out what a Spinosaurus is.
Ravenous Spinosaurus.
Well, they can't go back and change the dinosaur earlier. They need time travel for that. And they haven't invented it yet.
Most people would save the children's dinosaur book research until after they invented time travel, but these aren't most people. They're dogs, and the normal rules do not apply.
That is so true. One just ate my headphones right off my head.
Brachiosaurus are herbivores, gentle giants.
Whose legs do a number of weird things, like have a knee joint the wrong way round, have a back leg that looks like it's trying to breakdance, and another leg that looks like it belongs to a gorilla. All the more ways for it to step on you, my pretty.
I hope we can meet one of them.
We most certainly will. And we're likely to run into some carnivores, too.
Like Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Only if it's really fucking lost, seeing as it's from the Cretaceous. The late Cretaceous.
That guy would eat us before we could bark a ruff.
Oh, because that would be a shame.
I thought Mark Boland was dead.
Time travel.
Oh, yes.
Wait! I have a great idea! We'll disguise ourselves so the dinosaurs won't eat us.
Are they going to disguise themselves as bigger, scarier dinosaurs?
That's perfect.
Well, of course it is.
Stay still.
Cover girl, put the bass in your walk. Head to toe, let your whole body talk.
Turn around and then look back.
I can't believe I was talked into this. Aren't we through yet?
You know, out of everything I expected this film to include, this was not it. If only there was someone who could do a risible Austin Powers impersonation. Oh wait, there is.
Oh, yeah, baby! Yeah, you're an animal! Literally, you're a spaniel! You're a mastiff! Oh, you're a wiener dog! You're a wiener! Well, yes! More! No, less! Oh, less. Oh, less. I think I've spent.
Ooh. Ah!
Oh, fuck! The thing's still going on!
A ghost? Really?
A Ku Klux canine? Really?
I like that look.
I have never been so humiliated in all my life.
Don't worry, I'm sure they'll never try to lip sync you again.
Oh my lord, an alarm. I fear the film has reached critical levels of pointlessness. If it's not stopped, we'll have a disaster on our hands. The rest of the film.
We'd better get to the control room at once, Shortstack.
Our agents just learned that Adventure Cat is alive.
Adventure Cat survived the explosion?
Did any of you watch the movie earlier on? Like 7 minutes ago? When Dr. Bones talked about Adventure Cat still being alive.
Adventure Cat, our arch enemy. He always seems to show up just when we're about to get our paws on some amazing treasure.
No, think about it. It makes sense. Dr. Bone knew he was alive. Then we saw the flashback of Adventure Cat being killed, and now Dr. Bone finds out he's alive again.
Adventure Cat survived the explosion?
Teddy, are you suggesting that Dr. Bone forgot that he knew Adventure Cat was alive because he remembered a time when Adventure Cat faked his death?
Yeah.
Oh, chap, I'm not entirely sure that's how memory works.
It is with thrills.
You know what? Yeah, sure, fine, we'll go with that.
He is very much alive, and he's building a time machine.
Many brave Bijans died to bring us this information.
He's telling anyone who will listen that he's going to beat you to the Jurassic era and bring back more of the bone.
It's time travel! It doesn't matter who gets there first, all that matters is who gets there early!
I am learning so much.
Someone put the film primer on and inserted the dogs into it.
Sorry.
Not literally this time. Well, at least the time machine really looks like dogs built it. I once had some poodles build me a car and it looked like that. Although, it maybe wasn't a car, and they might have been Belgians.
I often wondered what it would look like if the budget to a movie was smaller than the cost of the DVD. No, not really, but I hoped I'd force that on the mistress at some point.
I have an idea. Let me try the time machine first, Dr. Bones.
I'm much more expendable, Dr. Bones. Of fucking course it works. Kind of. She arrives at the same time she left because, like everything else in this film, success is functionally identical to failure.
Now I know what it feels like to be everywhere and nowhere.
Look at that. At least now we know it only looks like there's literally tons of tinfoil in that thing.
Being unable to time travel is a very slight problem for the plot, so to get help they enlist the only animals in history to properly develop time travel. Chickens.
Chickens went back in time?
And so we've entered a brave new phase in story construction. Plot developments via helping the writer won't have the guts to make chickens into Time Lords.
This isn't a film. It's a series of ideas and concepts they came up with while drunk, wrote down, shredded, and then glued together at random. I know this because it's exactly the same process used to create half of the Minions.
Oh, which ones?
Well, I'm not going to say on camera in case the mistress overhears, but,
Oh, I bet it was Cedric. He's so dumb. What does mean?
Nothing, my friend, nothing.
Chickens went back in time? What for?
To visit their dinosaur ancestors, of course.
Cool.
If the chickens already had a working time machine, why didn't you just ask to borrow theirs, instead of restarting the plot over and over and over and building your own one? It makes no sense. Why, movie? Why?
Well, maybe there was a Cold War between the chickens and the dogs.
There couldn't have been a Cold War! If there was a Cold War, the dogs would have just eaten them all! I have one simple fucking question. If the chickens are the only species to have developed time travel, why have they allowed themselves to be enslaved, bred, and murdered en masse by humans?
Maybe they like it. Teddy does.
Yes, I'm a dog, but you can trust me. I speak chicken.
Oh, so do I. He said he doesn't even do drugs, but he still feels like he's relapsing. Oh no, that's my thoughts. I can't speak chicken after all.
I promise, we won't share it with anyone without your permission.
It's true. You need their permission to get the thingamabob. And if they don't give it to you, you can't share it. See? The chickens drive a very hard bargain. Like a stick haggling with a beating. The dog can get the secret to time travel, but first he has to sit through this scene.
What is your name?
Short staff.
How is your memory?
Excellent.
I won't allow you to write it down, and I'll only say it once.
Unreasonable conditions there. Perhaps you should introduce you to a chap called the Colonel. Yes, I thought the possibility of having to talk to Colonel Mustard and his candlestick, pipe, or revolver would make you a little more buckative.
That's it? Sounds simple, but it's not.
One has grown to hate this clucking movie.
These are all the ingredients Wilma Chicken included in the formula?
Wait, it's the same live shots as before. It's the same as before. The movie started again. It started again.
Quite a toxic mix. Explosive. Dangerous. One drop of the wrong chemical and boom! Keep your nose up, away from the fumes.
I knew screaming would help. Yes, movie, you are a toxic mix of badness.
Teddy, most of these shots have been reused 8 times before. Oh, sorry, I had the script the wrong way round. Teddy, most of these shots have been used infinity times before.
Getting to the damn mission into the past would finish the film sooner, so Adventure Cat contacts him to make sure that doesn't happen. Why, oh fucking why, are the cats CGI and the dogs are real?
Well, perhaps the director was allergic to cats.
Well, if that's the case, he still should have filmed it with a real cat and died halfway through. It would be a win-win-win.
Why a win-win-win?
Well, I win because I don't have to watch the film. The film would win because it wouldn't be finished. And he would win because he wouldn't have to be associated with this god-awful film.
Teddy finds your logic compelling and would like to subscribe to your newsletter.
It's me, your arch nemesis. I've heard you are building a time machine to get back to the past. Is that where the bone is?
It's also in the present, dear boy. There are photos. Try to keep up.
He knows about the time machine.
Of course I do. Everybody in the multi-universe knows about it after you ran your muzzle to the press.
This movie is so fucking dumb. It's trying to become sentient in a vain effort to destroy itself.
Oh, funny! That's how I happen.
The husky spends the whole scene looking off to the side awkwardly because he doesn't have any lines. Yeah, that's more reused footage. This is like an asset-flipped video game, but in a movie form.
Goodbye, silly dog!
Oh, they started constructing a theme park for hamsters. Good to see. Oh no, that's a time machine again. I'm barely disappointed now. The smaller and more pointless of the dogs get sent back in time, landing in a television program. I think it was Doctor Who.
Time tunnel.
Listen, I think I know what Doctor Who sounds like. The mistress has beaten me enough times after watching it.
Where am I, Dr. Bones? Can you read me?
I read you, Short Stack. Coming in loud and clear.
Which is amazing, seeing as you don't have any kind of microphone or transmitter on you. She's made it to the American Civil War, because here's something else they felt like fucking up.
Over there! It looks like a battle! They're humans!
Much, much, much worse. Confederates.
There were no humans in the Jurassic period.
Maybe the humans invented time travel.
That would just be silly.
How wrong is this scene? Let me count the ways. That Union flag. They say it's the Battle of Little Bighorn.
The Battle of Little Big Sheep.
Close enough. Little Bighorn wasn't a Civil War battle. It happened in 1876. And finally, this battle's happening 2 years after the American Civil War finished.
The coordinates say you're back in the United States in the year 1867.
Perhaps they're just reenactors who got in on it extremely early.
Also, you seem to know an awful lot about stuff and all things.
Yeah, well, when your entire job is getting Patreon movies and mocking the mistress, you have a lot of time for reading.
Teddy doesn't follow how this time machine works. The dog was in the box and flying through space, and then appeared without the box, and then vanished and was back in the box.
I have an answer. The time machine works extremely poorly, and a bit like a rave.
Phew! That was a close one.
Say what you will about Ed Wood.
I will. With a name like that, it sounds like he should be surrounded by vixens in a gentleman's private photo collection.
He had a nice moustache.
But he didn't usually reuse his shots when a character knocked the set.
Looks like you failed, Dr. Bones.
Fail?
Yes, you aimed at the past and you missed. Yes, you solved time travel with the aid of chickens. Chickens who are too dumb to go back in time and destroy KFC. Unless they did, and there's no actual chicken in KFC, and that's why they changed the name. Oh my lord, the chickens went back in time and changed KFC! I wonder what they serve now, because it's delicious.
Hey, Dr. Dog, what's going on?
We now know time travel to the past is possible.
Dr. Bone, why did you send your assistant to go get the chicken if you didn't know they'd really invented time travel? Apart from the sweet relief of not having to listen to her voice for the entire scene.
No more questions. Next stop, dinosaurs.
It's so beautiful.
Oh my lord, it's full of dogs!
I'm traveling through a sea of colorful lights.
And that color is purple, which to dogs looks blue. So you even fucked that up. And I instantly regret it. So the experiment was a success.
Hope he doesn't see me. Hope he doesn't see me.
So, after the really long disguise scene, you disguised yourself as a dog. That was actually pretty smart, because the dinosaur never saw one before. So he doesn't know it's not a disguise.
I think he sees me.
No, he doesn't. That would require more animation than they're willing to spend.
Oh, lucky! She exploded! That's one way to make sure you don't get eaten.
I saw him! T-Rex! He was huge!
I take it the mission was a success.
A resounding success. Not only have you managed to travel back to the Jurassic era, stroke 65 million years later when T-Rexes lived, but you've proved that you can successfully merge a shot of a dog on a green screen with a different shot of a mudflat and a CGI dinosaur.
That one journalist with his one mic will be so thrilled.
Yes! 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 The time machine works! The mission was a resounding success.
Dr. Bone, one more question. How did your assistant suddenly grow fucking goggles when she came from the past?
Dr. Bone, I like doggies, but not you in this film because it's stupid. Can I pet you? Oh, fine. End the scene before you answer, you stupid fluffy thing. So, the bad monster attacks the lab to stop the dogs from going back in time and stealing the bone.
Oh no! The time code pad!
Oh no, the sum total of a whole primary school's arts and craft projects for a year.
Why did the bad cat do this? I don't know. He's flying around, so I can't ask him.
This will drastically affect the mission to the past. I assume because it's a big job to repair everything and track down the parents you have to return everything to.
The upshot of this attack is they only have 24 hours to get back and find the bone and then return to the present.
Or?
You'll be stuck in the past forever.
Unless you buy some chickens, bring them back with you, and force them to make you a fucking time machine.
That's silly. Why would all chickens know how to make a time machine?
Ask the movie! Fuck it. If this means the fucking thing will end more quickly, then good. I don't know how or when Adventure Cat broke everything, and I don't care.
Adventure Cat!
You silly dogs!
Oh, saying your name at the start of a sentence makes you sound 10% more threatening.
Adventure Cat!
Alistair? Alistair? Alistair?
What are you doing?
Well, I was going for 50%, but now I'm going to start again. Alistair, 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 Alistair! Did it work?
Teddy! I'm very intimidated.
Can you please shut up? Some of us are trying to win.
She's right! Kindly shut the fuck up!
I'm not afraid of either of you. Neither you said your name first.
I'm not scared of you either. Oh, sorry. Alistair! I'm not scared of either of you.
So both of you just shut the fuck up so we can finish this film and then I never have to see either of you ever again.
Teddy! And maybe if you said your name first, you could intimidate the mistress into letting us go.
Omega! She didn't even need to say something.
Now we're scared.
Adventure Cat!
You know, on second thoughts, it might have been a dog that said Adventure Cat's name, but since all the voices sound the same, I'm sure the effect still works. So, who wants to know how Adventure Cat managed to break into the lab and damage the time machine / do whatever he did in there? Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, and in my defense, neither were you.
Haha! You left the keys under the mat, Dr. Bones.
Well, I was in a hurry to get to the cafeteria before they closed and get some bacon kibble.
Teddy is feeling dumber and dumber and dumber thanks to this movie. And that is quite an achievement because Teddy has a lot of self-esteem.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
I'll see you in the past, Dr. Bones. Actually, scratch that. I will not see you in the past, as I will be in the past before you get there, and I will return to the future way before you get to the past, and you will come from the future just in time to find...
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Sayonara, silly dogs!
Did you dip your paw in the invisibility formula, Shortstack?
Yes, Dr. Bones.
Invisibility formula? I didn't see that. Where was that hiding?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it?
It is?
Yeah, just off camera.
Yip, 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 yippee!
I'll try time traveling. That's a good trick.
So they finally head for the past to find the bone. It only took them... Fucking hell! We're less than 40 minutes in? Anyway, hopefully they'll emerge from the time machine as a giant dog monster a la The Fly 2, and Eric Schultz won't be there to put them out of our misery.
Is Eric Stoltz a time traveler too?
Only very, very briefly in 1985. Oh, well, they said the past is another country, and apparently Siam in particular.
That was an adventure.
Dog! They've appeared a short distance from the same T-Rex from before. Still in the same location. Stuck doing the same thing. Over. And over. And over. And over. And over. And over. Again. Both I and the fucking movie fail you, buddy.
What a fine specimen! Look at those strong legs and those incisors!
Did Dr. Bones go on the mission to find a date?
Oh, fuck, I hope so. At least we'll have a happy ending when she mistakes him for dessert.
He's getting closer.
In the sense that he's standing in the same place and rocking from side to side. They make a run for it, attempting to create the world's worst YouTube dog video. Joke's on them, this'll probably be blocked on YouTube. Haha! What the bloody hell is that?
Well, apart from having a stroke.
It looks like a screensaver from years and years and years and years and years ago. So I had to count out the years to make sure I was accurate.
In 1982, a cartoonist drew cavemen gathered around a picture of a Stegosaurus tail, and one of the cavemen said, "Now this end is called a thagomizer."
I don't know what's more distressing, that something fairly clever ended up in this, that the writer likes The Far Side, or that Dr. Bones spent 10 seconds explaining the cartoon and managed to miss all the fucking humor in it.
It is a fun word.
Keep in mind, it has been theorized that Stegosaurus had quite a small brain.
Yeah, about the same size as a small dog's. This scene is a lot like watching the two leads have a conversation with the movie itself.
Thanks, but we're looking for a bone.
A bone? Well, I have lots of bones, but they're all attached to me.
I.e., it's a collection of things that are too dumb to be called non sequiturs.
You see, I was talking about a bone from an animal that died.
Someone died? How sad!
Small brain? This guy is a really small one.
Its brain is only about 5 to 6% smaller than yours, and you invented hyperscience.
Apparently that 5 or 6% is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Only smart people use steroids.
This particular bone is large, very large, belonging to a leg, or perhaps a hip.
Well, according to the photograph earlier on, that thing is only a hip bone if its parents were from the sort of inbreeding that would make Charles II of Spain giggle and drool. Because, as the most inbred of the Habsburgs, he was incapable of very much else.
I have already told you, all my leg and hip bones are well set and very much accounted for, thank you.
We're looking for a really old, dried-out bone.
An old, dried-out bone? Whatever would I do with that?
Give it a mentor role in Ant-Man.
Give it your sympathies because it's in Star Paws.
Teddy would eat it.
Eat it, of course.
Yay, Teddy won!
That is disgusting.
What did I win?
A Stegosaurus is scorned by the looks of it.
Oh, that sounds expensive.
I no longer find you cute. Go away.
The dogs continue on their odyssey, and hopefully, just like in Homer's one, they'll be eaten by James Marsden.
I have this weird feeling someone is watching us.
Oh, sorry, that's me. I'll try to close my eyes while I scorn. I assume that whatever's going on right now is both terrible and deeply scarring.
It is. It's called Star Paws.
Don't move. Those are meat eaters.
And we're probably made of meat.
Teddy's not made of meat. Teddy's made of tofu. That's why the tigers won't eat him.
You know, the movie has greatly improved if you just close your eyes.
I think this could be the perfect time to try out the invisibility formula.
Should we just jump up there and eat them?
Dunno! Remember that time we ate the small brown squirrely thing?
I don't know what's more impressive, that the invisibility formula has the exact same effect as being sent back to the future,
or that it briefly made them less invisible.
I thought you had your eyes closed.
Well, I worked at a thing called blinking, where you open and close them rather fast. It makes everything look like a rave.
Or that only one of them had the invisibility formula and it somehow affected them both.
Maybe they're Siamese twins.
They're not Siamese twins.
How do you know?
Because they're not conjoined. They're different sexes. One's meant to be a lot older than the other, and they might be different breeds of dog.
Also, they might not be cats.
Oh, why didn't you just say so?
Let's rest here until sunrise.
Good idea. That way, we can see this same shot again. I missed it. And this one? It's like a reunion. They're Teddy's friends now.
Now most things, dogs or otherwise, would have either not wasted their 24 hours in the past by sleeping through half of it, or they would have travelled to the start of the day. But not these two, no. And why? So we have daylight to see this yodeling half-dinosaur, half-hang glider.
Dilophosaurus are very dangerous and aggressive.
Indeed, one of them tried to sleep with and then ate Wayne Knight. And there was a lot of Wayne Knight.
They look pretty aggressive.
Indeed they are. They also deploy a very powerful hunting mechanism.
What is that, Dr. Bones?
Robot legs!
Laser sight?
A light gun.
They will spit a sticky goo on their prey that will immobilize them so that the Dilophosaurus has time to eat them at their leisure.
Oh, sounds like weaponized opium. There's historical precedence for that. It was both the cause of and the end result of the Boxer Rebellion.
Psst, idiots! Didn't you start this scene by saying you needed to be quiet?
Oh, my pelts, it's a Dilophosaurus.
Be careful not to make a sound.
Good! Well, not good. I'm still watching Paws, but I'm glad I'm still right about everything. As usual.
An amazing sense of smell, you say?
A lazy, stupid, and pointless joke. If they gave it a meandering 20-minute subplot that went nowhere, it would be perfectly consistent with the rest of the movie.
Now, back to our adventure.
Dog!
They're on the search for a Brachiosaurus, because if anyone knows where a bone would be, it would be them. Since they're tiny, they fear the dinosaurs won't respect them. So to prove that Dr. Bones is the real McCoy, they climb a mountain.
The name Brachiosaurus means arm and lizard in Greek.
Well, it means all for special effects in English.
The name Brachiosaurus means arm and lizard in Greek.
It's just evolved into random dinosaur facts, and I can't even reasonably say devolved, so it... into random dinosaur facts.
Kids, this is what happens when you run out of time on your projects and have to make your space dog adventure at the same time as your educational dinosaur movie. You end up making Paws.
Two great tastes that taste great together.
So budget your time properly.
Now we know.
G.I. John!
What sort of dinosaur are you? So small, white.
We're not dinosaurs.
Ha ha ha! We're not really dinosaurs, we're Michael Cera. This movie has incredible powers. It can make the smart dumb, the drunk sober, and everyone else irritated. Observe.
Packadilly! We Brachiosaurus shout Packadilly when we find a leafy tree that is particularly delicious.
Teddy now has an IQ of small.
I say, tweaking dinosaur chap with a bizarrely vivid background, but the doctors came and asked you if you knew where a local mythological bone was.
We're looking for a bone.
Whatever for?
A mythical bone?
And about a minute later, you only realised they were talking about the local mythological bone because they mentioned it might be found in a rocky outcropping.
The bone we're seeking lies partially hidden in a maze of white, rocky cliffs.
Are you referring to the bone?
Have you ever considered becoming a general in World War I? They have a time machine they could leave you off. You could challenge Field Marshal Haig to a head-swallowing contest.
The bone. Enough of this bone.
Bone and bone! What is bone?
Now I have a question for you. Do you have a tail? I don't trust animals that don't have tails.
Of course we have tails.
Like them, the entire movie is a shaggy dog tail.
Huh. I have 3 riddles.
But how erotic a reptile and of very great power. A dinosaur!
Why aren't I dead yet?
Oh, Teddy was going to ask that.
You are 2 smart dogs.
Hey guys, that movie sounds like really bad.
Yeah. Glad I'm not watching it. Can you imagine if Hagan watched it? Half of this room would be dead by now.
Yeah, but not me, because I'm adorable.
So they answer the riddles, but Adventure Cat has already been this way, so it's a race against time. Or it would be if they didn't have a fucking time machine.
Oh, now that is some marvelous symbolism. They're running over the desiccated remains of a giant brain.
Look! There's some Triceratops!
They were told that the Triceratops knows where the bone is. This makes perfect sense, because it's the tops, and therefore the best dinosaur.
Look at that head.
Oh yes, look at it. The mouths don't even have a hole for the throat. This would make eating difficult, but not impossible.
Those two sharp horns sticking out from his head are big and sharp like elephant tusks. And the third one, on his snout, looks like a polished hook.
Oh, would you look at that? We spent the whole movie looking out for a point, and now there's 6 at once.
Paleontologists also believe Triceratops had a kind of beak used to grab vegetation.
They're eating now. Let's see if it's true.
We can tell the paleontologists that they mostly ate invisible food.
It's so exciting to see real live dinosaurs!
Let me know if you find any, assuming you don't die of heat stroke first. So the dogs waste some time listing off random dinosaur facts.
Triceratops does indeed have one of the largest skulls of any dinosaur we have studied.
If the film was any longer, I'm sure they'd start giving out random facts about us. And that'd just be weird.
I taste like rhubarb.
I can confirm this.
I commune daily with the 16th century cultist John Kelly.
I'm longer than I'm wide.
He tells me that my time will come.
I told you it would get weird.
We're animals called dogs. We live in the future.
I realise that right now all we have is hope, but if this continues on its present circular narrative, the meteorite might eventually land on other collective heads.
So in a vain attempt to pretend the Triceratops haven't been written as black stereotypes, they scandalously ignore the perfect chance to yell dynamite.
You have the coolest horned head.
That's super cool. Dino-rific. No horns, no armor, tiny teeth. How do you protect yourself against T-Rex?
Remind myself that it's the Jurassic period and there won't be any for a long fucking time.
Well, I remind myself that Mark Berlin won't be born for an even longer time.
I have a bat. His name is Papino. Everyone in the past seems to know each other, so they soon have instructions to walk around the same place again and again and again until the next dinosaur finishes wandering. This takes a while.
That young Triceratops was fun to play with, but...
You didn't play with him! You talked about him! A lot!
These Triceratops remind me of an ancient version of a rhino.
And then you talked to him!
You have the coolest horned head.
That's super cool.
These are not the same fucking things!
Strange. There are no signs of any dinosaurs. It's as if...
It's as if you went in a circle and were looking in the wrong direction.
Oh no! This is getting dangerous! I hope they have a logical way out of it.
Yeah, one that was carefully and cleverly established earlier on.
Wilma the chicken said to say, hi!
You know, Cousin Wilma.
I hate this movie more than I've hated anything in my entire life! Don't fucking touch me! God.
You tell Cousin Wilma I loved her gizzard recipe.
Gizzards? Okay, the T-Rex eating birds makes sense, but that means that the time-traveling chicken is a cannibal. And how does the T-Rex cook with those tiny little arms?
Probably with an awful lot of trouble. Since he's bad at being a T-Rex, he doesn't even try to eat them. So disappointing.
You're not even good for dessert.
Don't tell him about your trip to the venereal clinic, Dr. Bones. He might fancy some spotted dick.
Well, you can see why we'd be concerned.
My name is Max. Max the T-Rex.
Maximum Rex!
Ooh, when you can't possibly be any more Rex.
So, in a daring narrative move that's up there with the rest of this thing, the T-Rex reveals that Wilma the chicken has already visited from their future, and told him that they'd be back looking for the bone.
Mind-bending indeed.
It's a very brave move, taking a character from an extraneous scene and revealing that she's not the extraneous one, but that the whole plot is. As in, she could have just picked up the bone. Yes, she's a chicken and therefore unlikely to be able to lift a giant bone, but that also applies to tiny, tiny dogs. With the exception of one called Herbert that I had the pleasure of knowing some years back.
Before he will give them the location of the bone, he wants them to remember his little casserole recipe so he can tell Wilma the chicken, who literally just left to go back to the future.
Mind-bending indeed. I didn't realize hens ate liver casserole.
The secret is all in how you brown the onions.
I'm getting hungry.
I bet the Watchers thinks Teddy was joking, but Teddy can't joke anymore. Teddy is just sad.
Every second this movie goes on, the second we're not getting back.
I think that really depends on the nature of the time warp.
How do they fit a kitchen in a chicken coop?
Because it's a chicken cook.
I have entrusted you with the most amazing recipe ever created, and you must relay it to my cousin Wilma.
But make your apologies and escape before she can tell you all about the time she assassinated Nicole Williamson with an egg. It's a much more boring story without the claymation.
You know, I just realised why they used a shot of a Brachiosaurus at the start when they mentioned the Spinosaurus.
Ravenous Spinosaurus.
Oh, better lean back. This sounds like it's going to be very long and detailed.
The T-Rex literally just spent over a minute talking about a Spinosaurus. How it was dangerous and it would try to eat them, but he'd fend it off.
You let me deal with the Spinosaurus. I know you have more important things to do than get eaten.
He even talked about the dangers of a Spinosaurus nest. Not because of the mother or anything, nah, but because the eggs will hatch and the newborns will eat them.
Baby Spinosaurus have been known to pop out of the egg and start eating anything in sight.
And through all this, do we get to see a Spinosaurus?
Do we, fuck?
Do we?
Well, you certainly don't.
You cannot get eaten. I have to see to that.
They didn't use a Spinosaurus at the start because they didn't have one to cannibalize from later on. Maybe they were working on one, but it fell through. Maybe they never intended to have one at all. What this means is that the big danger of the movie, the Spinosaurus, is experienced by the audience entirely by telling, not showing.
If it's not in frame, it doesn't exist.
You'd have to invent a whole new criteria to properly explain how shit this film is.
Oh, it's Teddy's turn now. The bone is located deep in a very spooky and all-new location, full of sand and... Hey! Dog! Stop looking for someone to pee and find the bone! Find the bone! Don't make me come back there!
I think I found something!
Okay. Excuse me for just 1 second. Okay.
The dogs are amazing. They have incredible powers. Like how in this shot they're on the sand, but they can read letters while in the forest. That is truly special.
Adventure Cat!
He found the bone! He beat us to it!
Back to the time machine, Shortstack! I have an idea!
Does that idea include showing us the fucking Spinosaurus?
Does it involve telling us why they have to get back to the bally time machine, when previously they just teleported back to the future? Oh no, of course not.
Up for a bit more time travel?
No! And fuck you, movie!
I got the bone before you did, foolish BIA agents!
Oh look, the screen has the same amount of fans as Teddy. Why does it need fans again?
Teddy, darling, there's a number of better questions you could ask this film. Just none are on screen right now.
Now I will be unstoppable!
Not unstoppable.
Unstoppable!
Not unstoppable.
Unstoppable!
No, this isn't an argument.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. It's just contradiction.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
We will ride from universe to universe, galaxy to galaxy, dimension to dimension, wreaking kitty havoc everywhere!
We will stand on all manner of tall things and knock ever more expensive items to their doom!
We will stand for days at a time in front of open doors.
We'll repeat our lines too!
Long story short, well, not short, long story fuck you Star Paws, they go back in time to find the bone before Adventure Cat does. They even waste some time being picked up and dragged across the dirt because no one trained them how to dig on cue. Yep, that really happened.
That has definite mesmeric qualities.
Now, let's bury this fake bone for Adventure Cat to dig up.
Well, that is very clever of them, copying just about everything that ever had time travel in it. And they've won, but the plan had a flaw because somehow something came back with them.
Yes, I'm of course talking about the ending.
Oh no! Wait. Oh yes!
Fuck this movie!
Sarah, do you want to sum up?
No fucking way! Am I?
Well, to sum up, this was a very, very, very cool film, and it seems like it was designed to drive the strongest mind to utter madness. Luckily, I'm very so I was totally unaffected. Now, I don't really have an ending, so okay.
Hey, we can leave.
All right, go us. Good job, team. Good hustle. Let's go.
Why did I come down here again? Oh yeah. Yeah, Brownsville Tiger.